Frustrating loss, to say the least. It's 2 consecutive weeks now where we just, I don't know if you want to say it's taking the field lethargic or whatever it is. We took the field and didn't respond great in the first half of the game. And when you spot good teams leads, and when you go in the locker room at halftime 24-7, it's hard, and it makes it hard to win. I will say that I was extremely proud of our football team in the second half. I thought they responded, they battled, they competed. They showed a great deal of mental and physical toughness in the second half. We just couldn't catch a break, you know. Seemed like every time the ball was on the ground and it was up for grabs, they got it. You know, whether it was when we fumbled or when they fumbled. And that, at the end of the day, is the story of the game. You know, you have 4 turnovers, you throw in a block punt, that's really another turnover, and that's 5 again in consecutive weeks. And against good teams, it's hard to win. You know, and that's a good football team. They're well coached. They deserve a great deal of credit. But I will say that I was proud of the guys and the way they responded. They showed a great deal of resiliency. We just need to find a way to start our engine and play at a high level from the opening kickoff of the ball game, and do it with a real sense of urgency and want to. Because when we do that, we're pretty good.
Steve, can you talk about the play call near the USC goal line on Keith's fumble?
It was a read option play where Keith was reading the defensive end. He felt the end closed. He pulled the ball. Their safety did a nice job of showing up. I think Keith was trying to use a little bit of a pump fake to freeze the safety and then tuck the ball, and the guy jarred it loose.
Steve, what was the thought in the second half of switching the right side of the offensive line?
I was just trying to block him. You know, I was trying to block him. I was trying to protect the quarterback. We felt like moving a toe inside and bringing in Mike at right tackle, trying to get a little bigger body on the inside to try to wad it up a bit more. We thought that could have been helpful for us.
Did they do something different on the block punt? The first 2 times before they were close to getting there, did they do something different on that third?
They came with more guys than they had been coming with. It's unfortunate because it was I think the natural thing is, well, the 3 guys in the back didn't get it done, which really isn't the case. We had a breakdown in the front line of the protection that caused the issue. That is something we practice every day, so we just didn't execute it very well.
How would you assess the rest of Keith's day?
I thought he fought his tail off. You know, they were coming. That we knew coming in that this was a good defensive front. They've got some really talented young offensive linemen. And I thought he competed at a really high level. His ability to run the football, to escape pressure, some of the throws he made down the field. But, you know, you fumble and you get sacked 5 times, he doesn't feel very good right now. But I thought that he played. You know, we talked about that this week, about not working but rather playing. I thought he played. You know, we got to continue to try to get better around him so he doesn't try too hard to feel like he has to make a play, and ultimately leading to some turnovers there. You know, the first pick he had was a great play by Bailey. You know, it was a heck of an interception by him. The second one, you know, he's throwing the ball to Cody Bruns, and Austin, playing with good effort, tries to catch it and tips the ball, and Cody's open, tips the ball, and they intercept it. You know, and then the 2 fumbles. You know, he gets hit hard, and so we'll obviously have to address that because that's consecutive weeks now with the ball getting punched out.
Steve, 14 of USC's 24 points came on the block punt and then a short field after the pick. Even in a loss, does this feel like a pretty significant step for your defense tonight?
I thought it was really significant in the second half. You know, the first run was a little disheartening because we had them basically stopped in the backfield, and we let Silas out the backside. And I think it's a 60-yard run or whatever it was after that. And, you know, if you look at his numbers after that run, it's 25 carries for 100 yards, you know, so 4-yard average, which is almost 2 yards below his season average coming in. So I thought we fought and competed. I thought we really did a nice job of minimizing them in the passing game. I thought True had an excellent game in covering Marquise Lee. We just, we fought, and I was proud of our defense that way, especially in the second half when we needed to lean on to try to get back in the game.
What specifically was Trufant doing well against Lee?
I think he just played like he plays, He played some bump coverage. He played some off coverage. He found him in the slot, and he did a good job. I don't know if he covered Marquise every play when they did throw it. I mean, sometimes the ball doesn't go there. I have to look at the film, but it sure felt like he covered him pretty well, and it sure felt like he was confident in doing it. And I thought Marcus Peters had a good game as well on the other side. Marcus, we challenged him some and did a nice job as well. And, the couple balls they hit with Woods were really over the middle, more tight throws than they were on the perimeter.
Steve, Austin had just the one catch in the first half and then 4 for, I think, almost 80 yards in the second half. Was that a matter of them just taking him away in the first half, or you guys just going to him more in the second half?
No, I think it was a little bit of probably us going to him more and making it a point of emphasis. It was just challenging to want to throw it. We want to throw it down the field, but we're also trying to protect Keith at the same time. And when you get down 24-7, you probably take a few more chances, and we were able to get Austin a bit free down the field. And Kaysen, for that matter, too, is unfortunate. We missed him on the one down our sideline there in the fourth quarter. He got behind him as well. So we'll continue to try to make it an emphasis to get those guys more involved, and not just in the underneath game, but down the field.
Besides the block punt, there was the running into the punter, and then a few other mistakes, special teams. Do those get magnified in games like this?
I think so. We felt like we had a chance to go after the punt, and I don't know if he missed it or not. It was hard for me to tell, and we run into him. We fielded one punt. Sometimes when you're aligned not on the 10, but you're aligned further up, and then the guy hits a big punt and you start drifting back. We field the one punt inside of our own 10, which is an obvious mistake. But and then we missed the field goal, at a pretty critical juncture in the game that could have made it a one-score game, and we don't hit the field goal there. So it definitely wasn't our best game on special teams, to say the least.
Steve, in the bigger picture, is there anything to be gained by saying it's on you? Oregon last week, you felt like you gave them a lot of chances to get ahead than today. Do you feel like it's on us here?
I think that we need to come with a better sense of urgency. We need to play with a real. I don't want to call it desperation mentality, but I want us to take the field when there's 60 minutes on the clock with a real sense of urgency, a real want to, a real. This is our chance mentality. And I feel like the last couple of weeks we've waited until we've been put into that mode rather than taking the initiative and really going for it.
Obviously, if you knew why that was, you'd correct it, but any thoughts or theories?
I don't know. I don't know. We already addressed it in the locker room after this game, and we'll address it again tomorrow in the team meeting, and it'll continually be addressed by us throughout the week and weeks as we move into the second half of the season.
You said after Oregon you thought the offensive line had progressed then. Did you feel like they stepped back today?
Well, I thought they faced a better defensive line today. Those guys are talented. They do a nice job of rushing the quarterback. They do a nice job of setting the edge on the defense and creating stops. And we knew that coming in. The Breslin kid's got a great motor. The Williams kid is going to be a good player. The Uko kid is going to be a good player. So we knew coming in that this was a good front, and there was going to be some challenges there for us. I thought our guys in the second half tried better, competed harder. But at the end of the day, you have to block if you want to be a good offensive football team. And so back to the drawing board on who's in and what we do to try to move the football.
This kind of completes obviously the first half of the season. How do you feel about where you are right now and then heading into what this next stretch is?
I wish we had won them all. I think it's obvious that we were faced with an extremely challenging schedule in the first half of our season. But from the looks of it, it's not getting any easier as we move into the second half. And you look at Arizona, you look at Oregon State, you start looking down the road. These are good football teams coming to town or that we're going to. So we've got challenges that lie ahead. I think that with all of the adversity we've been faced with, I've been proud of our kids from their effort and their preparation and all that they've given us. I would have really liked to have been 4-2 talking to you guys right now rather than 3-3 after the first 6. But I think there's a lot of good opportunities that lie ahead for us to where we can play better football from the beginning and then give ourselves chances to win, and then see where we're at when December rolls around.
Was it with the short drops and the flat routes in the first half, that was just a signal to try to get something done against that good D-line?
Yeah, we're trying to make them run a little bit, make them run a bit laterally. Try to get the ball in the perimeter some and see if we could break some tackles and make some plays that way as well. But that wasn't working too great for us, and so we had to start to throw the ball down the field a bit more.
Steve, do you feel like you found a punt returner in Cody out there?
That was a nice return by Cody. It was really well blocked. Our guys did a great job that way of pinning the edge and getting the wall there. So we'll look at the film and see where we're at.
And would they do well against Bishop in your running game in general?
They set the edge really well in a lot of our perimeter runs, so we had to go back to more of the inside running game. And then as we saw that getting adjusted back to the inside running game, we were able to have the one drive where we were able to get the ball back on the perimeter again. So it's just going to have to be we got to stick and move that way in the running game. It's unfortunate. That was a nice drive for us. We weren't able to capitalize and punch it in the end zone.
Steve, before the missed field goal, was there any thought about just going for it out there? Was there any question about taking that kicker?
There was, you guys know me well enough. When I see one of those opportunities to capitalize on, but that was the right football move to make it a one-score game at that juncture of the game. That was the right thing to do. We were looking at, I think, a 4th and 5 at the time, and I'm not sure the exact length of the field goal. I think it was 42, maybe. I don't know exactly. And Travis has plenty of leg for that kick, so it was the right decision to make at the time, and so we did it.
Steve, what were your words to the team after Austin's score? What did you want to kind of relay to them at that point in the game?
I just wanted to make sure that we went and finished. That just because we scored that one touchdown doesn't mean that that's okay, everything's good, it's 24-14, we can relax. We needed to stay locked into the mentality that we had, and we had to battle, and we had to compete and fight and scratch and claw to see if we could make some plays and get even closer in the game, and I thought we did. It's just unfortunate we couldn't, like I said, we couldn't really catch a break there late in the game when we had some opportunities.
Want to wrap it with that, guys?